Again, this is Tanya. This afternoon I'm going to be doing a sort of quick first impressions of how I started working with a newer oracle deck that I have received called Purgatorium Heks by Mr. Friborg. Now, Mr. Friborg or Friborg, if I butchered that, I sincerely apologize. I'm horrible with that stuff. So look at this box for this. This deck was $50. I got it from his site called Arcantum. This deck I saw online along with Cherokee, which I'll be doing probably a show or flip through impressions of that very soon myself. I got to start working with that a little bit. I pulled some and doing a little bit of work in reading on this deck. So this deck, my only complaint was that when I ordered from Arcantum and it came through Shop Pay, it said you'd be getting a actual email saying when it shipped with tracking number. No such thing. Now, so I had no clue where the deck was or anything, but it showed up about 2.5 weeks later. So it's still not bad delivery time. I believe it may be coming or maybe created in another country. If so, that's not bad at all. Either way, I got it. I got it intact, both decks. Each deck was $50. So this was $50. But this deck is already well made. Now, it's a very, if you're not into this stuff, it's a very dark, to say the least, deck. Dark as in screwed up with your head, mess with your head, or as we know, I swear, fucked you up. But that's what it's meant to do. The deck is basically, well, hence the name, Purgatorium. So basically having to do with demonic things, shadow work, very great for shadow work. I can see this as facing your own personal demons, healing yourself, the darker aspects of life, polarities, balance. There's a lot of themes with, as I mentioned, demons, witchcraft, repentance, facing the truth, accountability, self-healing, acceptance, taking accountability for your own actions, making you look at things from a different perspective, So this deck has been called to me. I obviously, being a crazy Capricorn, I love screwed up stuff. Now, screwed up is not bad, meaning it's just things that make you think. Things that others might find maybe scary, repulsive, do not want to approach, do not feel the need to, or avoid at all costs. Me, on the other hand, I am extremely fascinated by it. Hence my love for music like Typo Negative, 9 Inch Nails, Tori Amos, Moonspell. I'm a big 90s girl. If you watch my previous videos, yeah, I mentioned the 90s a lot. I was a teenager in the 90s. Great time to be a teenager for crazy music, artistic endeavors, alternative, growing, in an expansive environment. So yeah, there was a lot of different aspects and things at that point. So yeah, so hint, hint, or previous videos, that's where I get this fascination from. So I do like that because I find as a person and a spiritual being, you have to have a balance. There's no all love and light all the time, and there's no dark without the light. You have to have a balance and integration to be the best version of yourself and to learn and grow and evolve and to survive in this crazy screwed up thing called life. Today's word is screwed up. As you can already see, I've used it at least 7 or 8 times. Yeah, Tanya repeats herself. Oh well. So yeah. So this deck, without further ado, and hopefully not make this too long or rambly, I thank you all for watching, giving this a chance, and checking this deck out. Maybe this may appeal to you, maybe it not. There's some nudity in the deck and offensive images. So if that is not something that resonates with you, offends you, bothers you, or may traumatize you, please do not further watch. Watch at your own risk. Not horrible, just may not be your cup of tea. My cup of tea may not be yours, or vice versa. So this deck here, and again, it's excuse my poor filming. I'm not great at this type of thing, but I am what I am. So, this box is amazing. Like, it's hard to see and do justice. Look at that lovely cross, which is on the back of the deck, and it says, even the pious shall burn. I love that type of stuff. I'm a big thing overall in all forms of theology and religion. I'm very open-minded, so yeah. Even the aspect of demonology, aspects of heaven and hell, different religions, different points of views. It's what makes life interesting and diverse. It's so much out there beyond what we see every day or experience. Just because we don't see it or want to see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, or doesn't mean that it's not quite a lot that cannot teach us or teach us about ourselves or help us on our path. So this box here is beautiful because it's hard to see again, but in this lighting, but it's actually like embossed with like flames. So very lovely. There was a lot of time and care provided into this type of deck. Of course, it's not mass produced, so it's not an indie deck either. Or it is an indie deck. Wow, I am screwed up today. So, yeah, it is an indie deck and not mass produced. That's what I meant to say. So, yeah, excuse my all over the placeness. Tanya is Tanya. So, this deck is amazing. I watched several flip throughs on it and pulled the trigger about a month ago. Just got about a week and a half ago. So, the guidebook, this deck is an oracle deck, as I mentioned. I never used to be an oracle deck type of person until maybe the past 2.5 years. And I find them extremely great companion and tool in my workings, in my self-workings, my spiritual path, but also as clarifiers in my readings. To work with tarot cards or separately, shadow work, introspection, spiritual paths, helping others, a simple pull a card type of simple advisement in making a decision, daily draws. So yeah, and as we all know, if you're watching this, tarot decks and oracle decks all have their own personalities. So they each bring a different aspect to the table. That's what I certainly appreciate, whether it's the artwork, the guidebook, together or separately. Whether you are more of a bright deck type of person or like me, I kind of love the very detailed, artsy, what the hell is happening type of decks. Things that make me think, make me wonder, and bring something new, that teach me something new about myself, or how I approach things, or how I've seen or changed my point of view, or help me to be expansive. As we all know, if you watch my previous videos, I'm an ever-growing person. So this video is going to be rambly, as we can tell. But yes, if you're watching this, thanks for bearing with me. So this deck is actually with the oracle deck, just besides being an oracle deck. It's based on, and I don't know much about this, so hence another thing I'm learning about from this. I believe, and I probably said this wrong, the Magtenda, Italian tarot system, and the psychologist systems of the stages of grief. So quite fascinating, and again, very good for shadow work, and I believe healing and integration. So this guidebook's amazing because it actually has a section about the planetary symbols, and then there's the symbols on the deck, which you will see when I bring those into focus in a moment. You'll see those that they have little letters on them that also apply to it. The stages of the grief are, which relate to the underlying meaning and aspects, whether it's to deal with anger, acceptance, that type of thing. So again, this is a deck that I do believe it can be used intuitively, but it can also be used. The guidebook will be, and already has been in my aspect with the quotes and everything, is a valuable asset to it. So both together work together separately. So I'm going to show some of the cards. It's definitely worth the $50 investment compared to some decks that I have purchased that have been highly disappointing, or have not had a great guidebook. Yes, I'm all for intuitive working and stuff, but sometimes you kind of need that, especially with the way the decks are. It's great to have the insight companion and work together and pick and choose what works for you or helps you teach the deck. But then again, all said were for intuitive. So he's definitely hit a feeling, thought, and intuitive markers for me, and for others. Again, you may not get these deck, but again, just because something's darker doesn't necessarily mean it's awful. It can teach us new aspects. Just because something is bright, lovely, and appealing doesn't really mean it is. It can be harmful. So yeah, it's all about interpretation and what works for each of us, or together and separately. So this deck, now we're already getting into 11 minutes. But I'm going to just pull some cards and tell you again that the cardstock on this deck is amazing. I'm looking forward to fully working more and more with this deck. I believe it's going to probably come in even more handy as I have certain things for next year's personal workings. This year is a lot to do with tarot and oracle decks. The basics of the Kabbalah system in the tarot, how they work together. Deep diving with my thoughts versus just what I've just connected with an intuitive and basic level all these years. As you've seen in my previous videos, I am doing more on the Kabbalah and the deck itself, and reading a few books, daily draws, and getting more to know her in a more different level. So this will also be helping me the next year, and I'm sure in several levels. So yeah. So I'm not going to read each one, just going to try to, for purposes, show how much someone's artwork, their time investment, and what they put into their system is just incredible. So, again, very demon-based deck. And some of these words I'm not going to even, well, this word I'm not going to even try to pronounce because I'm sure I'll really butcher this. But, yeah, as you can see, it's a demon and a witch. Basically, the witch is appeasing or appealing to the demon to get help or revenge on or assistance with doing harm to another person. Again, dark theme deck. So, but yeah, it's a lot about envy, this card is. That's what the meaning is in the guidebook. So, as you can see, the whole deck is black and white. Has a very old, like, from like hundreds of years ago from different books, that type of style, and artwork. Reminds me a lot of books and things having to do with things of very Salem in the 1600s type of thing too. You shall be, the pious shall burn, you shall burn and repent for your sins, that type of thing, or witchery and what witchery is. And a lot to deal with personal feelings, personal demons, the good, the bad, and the ugly, but also the great aspects of things that should be faced and integrated and not locked in the closet. Sorry about the shadows in this, but yes. So I'm just going to pull through real quick. As you can see, paranoia. That definitely looks and does explain what paranoia feels like. So, yeah, great depiction. Force. Yeah. Self-explanatory. Charm. Education. Yeah, that is fucking defeat. We all know that. Oppression. See, again, pretty self-explanatory. You can use in an intuitive aspect. I haven't really used for clarification readings yet. I like the pariah card. Oops, sorry about that. Sliding everywhere. Collaboration. A lot of witchcraft in this deck. A lot of demons in this deck. A lot to do with feelings. Manifestation. Reminds me of the Goya painting. as you can see why. Very like Black Phillip type of feeling too, these demons are. Again, nudity. Yeah, that one, yeah. That says it all about the Devil card. But many of my decks like the Soft, and others have that type of similar depiction. Privilege is nice. I like the family here, but shows about privilege in the families and hereditary lines. We all deal with this or have dealt with this in some shape or form in family dynamics. But look at the Father's hand is a demon hand on the Son. So yeah, makes you think. You look into the cards, and that's where you can get a further meaning or relationship. Or relation to your relationships or how the cards translate. Again, these are a bit all over the place. Forgive me. Wrestling with my demons or control type of thing. I love that, like love, like kind of reminds me of self-love type of thing. Love thyself, self-acceptance, impotence. That one's really kind of screwed up, but I love it. That one really is. So yeah, that offends you. Turn away. Got a lot of that similar artwork to like the demonology, the old demonology encyclopedias, books, grimoires, etc. Hoarding. I'm a pagan hoarder. Or tarot card hoarder. Just kidding, but true. Digging your own grave. Self-forgiveness. I like that one. Evidence. Planting evidence. Kind of reminds me of court, greed, underhandedness, that type of thing. Again, pretty self-explanatory, but guidebook has great quotes for each thing. And a light or a high polarity and a low polarity. So the meanings in that, again, I know there's not the greatest flip through or thing on it, but I wanted to show some of my newest additions to my deck collection that's ever expansive and growing, that I will be working with further and probably will be mentioning a lot more in the future as I work with them. Look at the herd is sheep. Are you a wolf or do you follow the herd of sheep? I'm a wolf. Oh yeah. Look at that egoism. That one slid here. Oh, familiars. World cards, pretty self-explanatory, just like corresponding to in the World card for tarot cards. Bitterness, I like that one. The weed growing in between them. Justice. Folly. Fun. Some of these will make you chuckle. Yeah. Giggle, etc. So I'm not going to do any more because they're falling over the place. And this is getting rather long. Or already is. So, again, if you are looking for something to push your own personal limits or boundaries, this deck will do that. If you are like me, who is at different ends of the spectrum, with light, dark, having a balance, who wants to play well with her demons, or you want to play well with yours, and integrate them in a well-balanced practitioner like me. If you're a practitioner, there is so many possibilities in the magical world and in across the veil and in spiritual and religious workings, deities, different entities, beings, and we are our own entities and beings, and what our minds can conjure up, what our own energy can. So this will be great on that. It's best to know thyself. Know thyself, know thy power, know thy demons. Maybe they're not demons. Maybe they're just an aspect of yourself you neglected and need to integrate in or bring in light, or something you need to integrate in and heal. Maybe something from the past. Also, again, just because something is dark and scary doesn't necessarily mean what you initially believe it is. Yes, and if it fascinates you, research. Read. There's plenty, hundreds, if not thousands of resources on different subjects. Take the time, invest in that. If you find out it's your cup of tea or cup of wine, go for it. If you don't, and then you find repulsed or that it's not, then turn away. I would certainly advise this deck as the cardstock, as I mentioned earlier, is amazing. It's smooth feeling. The box is great. The guidebook is great. I love the meaning behind it. It's very intellectually based, very feeling based too, as I mentioned, for different stages. Very much for shadow work. Yes. And of course, if you are a practitioner, a witch like me, you'll probably get a kick out of some of this stuff, or it'll make you think or expand your own horizons. And with that, thanks for giving this video a watch. Yes, sloppy. Yep, I'm sloppy too in certain ways. I'm not the most organized with Capricorns, or the most structured or disciplined. And I'm on the more out of end of the spectrum. I kind of blame that on my Cancer moon. Haha, gotta blame it on something, right? Just kidding. Alright, again, thanks for watching, giving my channel a chance. If you do like anything that you see, please like, comment, or subscribe to my channel. It is greatly appreciated. If you have any comments or questions on the deck, please comment below. I'll do my best to respond. And I hope this video finds you all well. Thank you, and blessed be.